महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। ओम महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। ओम महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। ओम महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। ओम महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। ओम महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। ओम महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। ओम महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुप्रियाय नमो नमः। ओम धनप्रदाय नमो नमः। ओम विश्वजनन्ये नमो नमः। All right. Hello, everybody. It is High Priestess Jamila, and y'all gonna have to bear with my voice a little bit today, because I've been under a little bit of stress, and that's okay, because when you put stress on a diamond, it just gets brighter. Okay, however you want to say that. Anyway, so I wanted to let you guys know that I am taking new cases for court cases, generational hex removers and cleanses, and then also other work. But I want to talk to you guys about the court cases. I want to talk to you guys about these cases individually. Now, I have a 150% success rate on court cases. I've been doing this professionally and full time for 3 years now. In every single court case that I have had, the outcome comes out exactly how the petitioner wants it. But there's a couple of different rules to that. You have to have your case paid in full. Okay. And depending on the case or the case type, I've learned that I'm not going to be accepting payment plans on those anymore. And the reason why is because it can have an adverse effect on the case when you don't have it paid in full, whenever you go to your court dates and everything. And for example, I'll get the case completely done for you. It'll be completely done, which there's two main components to my court cases, which is the honey jar and the beef tongue jar. Y'all know that. It is extremely important for those cases to be paid. And the reason why is because spiritual debt is spiritual debt. And my energy, when I take your case, what happens is that a lot of that stress, a lot of that worry, it gets lifted off of you. And if the court case is not paid in full, then what spirit is going to do is spirit is going to start to say, okay, well, we're not going to deal with this energy. Because it takes energy to work your cases. So it's extremely important. My court cases, they can range anywhere from 500 to 50,000. It just depends on what case it is that you have. But they do work. And if you don't take it seriously, like for example, when things get too good for you, and then you start to forget the person that took that energy off of you, okay, then there can be a problem. So I want y'all to know that court cases is one of my main things that I do. It's one of my favorite things that I do. But if you're not able to pay for your court case, because let me tell y'all something, paying for your court case with your spiritualist, especially with me, is more important than paying your attorney. Okay? So it's very, very important that those cases are paid for. Because what can end up happening is that energy will start to affect me negatively. And I'm not going to let that happen. Okay? I'm seriously not going to let that happen. I work so many different cases for people, and I'm so busy all the time that, every now and then, especially when we are getting ready to come up on a new moon, which we are getting ready to come up on a new moon on the 5th of April. I'm sorry, the 5th of May. And when I see that your, invoice that I sent you is not paid in full, spirits is going to have a real problem with that. Okay? Because what happens is that, first of all, make sure that even though you may not have a court date coming up in a couple of months, make sure that you pay for your court cases. Because, see, that will begin to have an adverse effect. So I'm probably not going to take payment plans on those anymore, in particular for certain people and for certain cases. Because what it turns into is a power struggle. And what I've noticed is that anybody that doesn't pay for your work, I can start to feel spirits pulling on me. And then that's a serious problem. So you can win your court case. That's not a problem. But you have to make sure that it's paid. See, if you're not paying it, what will happen is that you will develop even more spiritual debt. Okay, even more spiritual debt. For you to have a court case in the first place, you've got some spiritual debt. Now, if you're serious about taking that new lease on your life, then you just have to make sure that you have your stuff paid in full, and you'll be fine. Okay, because it takes a lot of my energy, and my spirits will continue to work for you, but you ain't paid no money. You know what I'm saying? And that can be a problem. So if you have a court case that is serious, then you just have to make sure that it's paid. Okay. Like I said, I've never lost a case. And you got to be careful with listening to naysayers that would cause you to be disrespectful enough to not pay your bill. Because what that can do, when you don't pay for your stuff, that means that I can't pay my rent or mortgage. That means that I won't be able to pay my bills. And I swear to y'all, every time I have a client that owes money, it'll start to pull on me. And then that's when I'll have to start doing work on clients. And I don't like to do that. But I can't allow that negative energy to affect my business. I can't allow that. Okay? Because I feed my family with my business, with my energy. My energy is precious. Okay? And you cannot take this stuff lightly. If you don't care, then you don't care. But especially if I've already completed the work for you, especially if you have a payment plan, then that can be a problem. Okay? So if I have a court case with you and you owe a balance of more than $2,000, then it's okay for you to pay me at least $300 monthly. That'll keep you in the clear, and that will also keep me in the clear. Because what my spirits will do is they will say, wait a minute, we not working this case no more. We not doing it because this person is not paid. And it's that serious. It's that serious, okay? I don't mind taking your case, but you have got to be diligent about making your payments, okay? Because my spells do work. I don't do a lot of love work, and the reason why is because love is domination. And to be honest with you, love is at the bottom of that totem pole. It really is, because love is not that difficult to obtain as long as you have love within yourself. Okay, so I don't do love spells in the capacity of dominating somebody, making somebody fall in love with you. I don't do that. The only kind of love work that I do is love road openers and reunions. Okay, because we have a lot of people out here that would love to take advantage of the spirits, and love spells can be very dangerous. Okay, and for me, I don't offer love work except for the reunions and the bindings. That's it. Okay, and they do work. But the main thing that I work on is the court cases, in particular, the generational hex removers and the cleanses. My generational hex removers cost $1,500, but it is worth it. Because basically what is happening is that there is an entity or either a spirit that is feeding off of your family. It's been feeding off of your bloodline for generations. Okay? So it's really important for people to understand that they don't just go away. They don't. Generational hexes have destroyed more lives than drugs. They have destroyed more lives than drugs. In fact, if you have a generational hex on you, it's probably going to drive you to using drugs because you're constantly trying to avoid the situation. Okay, so this is a very sacred process. I take this very, very, very seriously. And my clients have had amazing results from the work that I do. You just have to have trust, faith, and respect. Those are some of the three components of having a successful case. Okay. I have done work for people that have gotten generational hexes removed from them, and they got a job paying $250,000 per year. Or they started a business and they made 100 to 200 to 300 grand in that first year. Okay. Because as you guys can see, they want to keep you in chains. It's very important for them to keep you in chains. One of the main elements of keeping women in chains is this whole love thing. The whole love thing. And they love to use love. This is why a lot of you are left heartbroken. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm not talking about, nobody cares about a controlling loser leaving them. No one cares about that. A controlling loser would love to be that important, and they'll try to make themselves that important, but they're not. As women, you have to understand that men will never be more powerful than you. Ever. Okay. I don't care, because you know what they all do. They all, if you have some kind of fling with them or you have some kind of sexual relationship with them, they think in their mind, oh, I'm going to go and tell all my buddies and everybody's going to do this, this, and that. You got to stop falling for that stuff. Men can be very crafty in the traps and the webs that they set, but they are not more powerful than the woman. They can pretend to be, but they know that they're not. Okay. So that's been one of the main things that a lot of my enemies, including men that are my enemies, and I must be pretty powerful if I got a bunch of males that are my enemies. Okay. The reason why men pull on the woman and the reason why men do what they do is because of the curse of patriarchy. This is the number one hex that is over families. And it is a trick because it makes absolutely no sense. And it leaves a bunch of us asking why. That's the first thing that you ask yourself. Well, why did you do it? Why? Why? The reason why is because they want to control you, and they want to control your mind, and they want to control your money. So this leads me to another working that I do, which is a money unblocker. The reality of it is that about 80 to 90% of men on this earth, they want to block your money. Have they been able to block my money? Nope. Never. So unfortunately, this is the reality that some of us have, especially if you are a female and you are a business worker. I'm sorry, a business owner. So that's why there's a lot of people, a lot of women especially, that run their spiritual businesses, and they're very careful about what clients they will accept, like what types of clients they will accept into their business. Okay. Now, the number one rule that you want to remember is never go to another practitioner while you're working with one already. Don't ever do that. I had a client that was doing that to me for a couple of months, and I noticed that stuff was really, really slow and sludgy. You see what I'm saying? And that's because that person is untrustworthy, and they don't have a lot of trust in you because they don't know how to judge. Okay. The main thing that is going to mess you up is these men. They are almost like the devil that they say is out there roaring constantly. And as women, we are very intelligent. We have the ability inside of us to overcome that. And you cannot continue to placate these types of men. Okay? Because they bring a lot of poverty into your life. They bring a lot of lack into your life. And it's just really not good. And they're not worth it. There is not one man walking this earth, okay, except for my sons, and neither one of them would ask me to do that. You know, the reason why the curse of patriarchy affects so many families is because men are stupid. I hate to tell y'all that, but it's the truth. Men can be really stupid. How many times as a woman have you been affected by an ignorant, stupid man who was misinformed, mistaught, and misraised? Very often this happens. Okay? So don't get caught up in the spell. When a man is degrading and dogging out a woman, he is putting other women under a spell. And he is temporarily, only temporarily telling those women and other men that he is stronger than her. But he can't be. A woman gives birth. So a woman with the capability of giving birth, a man can never match that. Ever. Okay? So let's stop getting mixed up with these men and going by what they saying, especially the ones that don't understand that no means no. They have their own lesson to learn. Stop feeling sorry for them. That's one of the biggest things with women. A man goes out there and plays victim and you feel sorry for him. Well, guess what? While you feeling sorry and in your feelings, he's messing up your stuff. So don't get involved with a man that is doing that. Okay, these men have their own karma that they're going to have to deal with. Okay, so I don't care what somebody told you about me. I don't care what somebody said. I'm not in the business of controlling men. Okay, I don't need to control no man. I can make him stay with me. Absolutely. But if I choose that I don't want him to stay, then he's got to go. And when he's got to go, he's going to be bitter and he's going to be doing the, you know what? In fact, there are a lot of men out there, they don't even really have to light candles. They can just speak. But their spoken words can always be undone. Okay? So y'all got to understand this about the male population. Okay? Now, going back to what I was saying, most of y'all are generationally hexed by men. Most women are generationally hexed by men. And if you really knew what their true intent was with the games that they play, you wouldn't allow them to. Okay? You should never allow a man to have you sitting there waiting on you for 10 years, 12 years, 5 years, 3 years, even 2 years. If a man does that and you fall for it, then you are under a generational hex of patriarchy. And this is the reason why you tired. This is the reason why you drained, because they have a demon connected to them. They have no idea. They have no way of discerning it. And even if they're told that, they enjoy it. Okay? And right now, what we have to do is we have to stop feeling sorry for these men. Stop coddling them. This is the one thing that I have never, ever, ever done is coddle a man. And this is something that has affected many, many families, especially Black families. You notice how in some Black families, they'll treat all the women like dirt and all the men like gold. Y'all notice that? Those women have been doing those men a disservice because it creates problems in their lives. It creates court cases for them. So the best thing that you can do for a person is tell them the truth. Okay, people need to know the truth. Nobody should be given a pretty lie, because pretty lies always come back and bite you in your butt. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want to tell you. I'd say probably maybe 95% of my clients are women, and there's a reason for that. Okay, there's a reason for that. And the reason why is because we have so many men out there that are miseducated. Okay, and they will do all that they can. I told y'all, I've been telling y'all this for like the past year, and it seems like to me that y'all don't take it seriously. I've been telling y'all this for the past year, that men will stop at nothing for you to starve to death. And the reason why is because they want you to be skin and bones. You can be sitting up there a size 16 and they want you to be a size 10. So, oh, maybe she shouldn't eat anything. They don't determine whether or not you eat or not. See, breast milk comes from the female. There's no male out there that can feed a baby. But we have a lot of men out there that are actually sick enough, including Nature Boy. I was absolutely disgusted by what I heard about that man, about how he felt like he could breastfeed a baby with his penis, because men have vagina envy. And the reason why they have vagina envy is because of mainstream religions and them never being taught what a real man is supposed to be doing. And a real man is not defined by a woman. As a woman, I can't define a man. He defines himself, doesn't he? Okay? So y'all have to understand that. And I've had a lot of men that have been chasing me around, because I am an authentic high priestess, trying to get something that they couldn't get from their mama. And the reason why they couldn't get it from their mama is because she already kind of know what kind of son she done raised. So they go out and they look to women, especially over here in Georgia. I heard that there was a lot of men over here that are just literally on the DL, and they not on the DL, it's obvious. But the reason why they mess around with women is because they need that divine feminine energy. And there's a way for you to protect yourself from that. Don't ever give a man your energy, especially not for free. Okay, now I wouldn't advise somebody to be with an abusive man just because he's paying. And so that's been a huge problem. And this issue is going to be flipped around. Okay? Because every woman has the right to earn her keep. Every woman has the right to prosper with or without a man. So I'm single. And I'm also a solitary witch. I don't have no man. Okay? And neither do I want one. The survival of my family, the survival of my children, and the survival of myself is way more important than any man. Not any of them. None of them are worth. No man should ever ask you to starve to death for them. No man should ever do that. Okay? I spend upwards to $2 to $3 grand per month on food for my family. That is what it costs. And it is my energy that does that. And a lot of these men will say, well, why don't you just go and accept some food stamps? Well, they'll give you a third of what your family actually needs to eat. So this is one of the reasons why I started my business. And they have been working overtime, child. What's up, Mary Queen? They have been working overtime with their BS. And they're going through poverty. by themselves. And the reason why they had poverty is because they spit in the womb of the goddess. They will always have problems. They will always have issues in their life. And see, I don't come on here and beg for donations. If you see somebody begging for donations with my name in their mouth, please believe that they are suffering from poverty and lack. So women are the ones that control the money. And if it were not for women telling men, hey, you know, this, and that, they would spend it all. They would have no control over what they're doing. So this is the reason why I am very successful. This is the reason why, you know, the money work that I do for people. And it seems like to me that here lately, my goodness, we're going to have to start doing some money unblocker binding jars on these people, because they are constantly trying to set you up for downfall. And this is the reason why I'm a high priestess, because they can't do that to me. It's never going to be a day where a man is going to be able to control my outcome. There's never going to be a day where a man will ever be able to control my money. And they want to so bad. And the reason why a man would want to control a woman's money is because they don't have it themselves. Okay? So that's just all it is to it. You need cleanses from these men. You got to cleanse yourself. Okay? And stop waiting and hoping for these men that are full of crap. And please do not, if I tell you not to do work on somebody, because I have spoken with many women about work on their husbands and work on their boyfriends. There are some people that are just broken. So stop keeping hope alive for somebody that don't have hope for themselves. If somebody doesn't have hope for themselves, then the way it is designed is for them to go through whatever they go through, and they have to figure it out for themselves. Y'all realize that there have been times where I have had nothing, and I was able to feed my children within a few hours. Okay? And I had more than what I ever wished for. And that is because I take care of my spirits. I just made offerings to Ganesha today. So Ganesha and they're eating on them oranges and them bananas that I gave them, okay? Lord Ganesha said, feed me, okay? And so, so the games that they have played have never been able to work on me. And they want to know how much you got, how much you make. I did that last year. I ain't doing that this year. Let them sit and wonder. Let them sit there and wonder and wallow in their misery, because if they don't know, they're going to be miserable. Because they've been wanting me to come and prove myself. All last year, it was all about I got to prove myself. I ain't doing that no more. Okay? Just know that your freedom and your money unblockers and all of that is available over here at Divine Services. Only person that needs to know about how much money I make is either my accountant, the IRS, or maybe a mortgage loan company that I'm going through. Otherwise, no one else has any right to know what you got. And no one has the right to know how you're spending it either. Okay? Because men want to know what you spending your money on. What are you doing? You know, it's none of their business. Okay? Thank you, Goddess. So if you guys need a consultation, the link to my website is below. Okay? Now, with your court cases, what you're going to have to realize about court cases is that you have been given the opportunity to get a new lease on your life, because there's a lot of these states, they'll take the rest of your life And they'll feel like, well, this person doesn't feel that they're worth anything, so I'll just take the rest of their life. Okay. And there's a lot of people that's willing to give up their life because they feel like it ain't worth much, but you know, it is worth a lot more than what you think. Okay. So don't give up and say, oh, it's over and I'm never gonna beat this case and I don't care anymore. Well, your spirits care. Because that's why they brought you to me in the first place, because they care. If they didn't care, they would have sent you down the street to somebody else. And those people can't make no spell work. Okay. So, cleanses will make you feel so much better and they will give you clarity. It ain't just about your feelings, because when a person is putting all sorts of subconscious blockages and bad energy on you and things like that, those things are entities that will attach to your energy fields. So the cleanses are very serious and they are very powerful. I have not once yet had a cleanse that did not do me correctly. Okay, the cleanses are amazing. It's actually the whitest magic that I have over here. Besides the court cases. Court cases are not considered to be black magic. Court cases are considered to be white magic if you want to put it in a color category. Okay. So the cleanses are very, very important to get. If I suggest that you get a cleanse and I can see that you need a cleanse, then you should definitely go about getting one, because sometimes those entities, they can attach directly to your third eye. That's the first place that they go to. Okay. And I myself have had a very cleansing effect on people, to where, you know, when you start crying, that means that that cleanse is working. When you start to release, and it'll give you clarity so that you can think, because people will bombard you with all kind of information and crap that's the complete opposite of reality. Don't allow non-realities to block yourself, because a lot of those things, they only exist because you allow them to exist in your body, and they will feed off of your aura. Okay. And spirit had me go through oh my God, a big test. That person said I failed every test, but I passed every test with my spirits. I'm telling you, because for months and months, for the past 2 or 3 months, this man was trying to feed off of me. He just kept doing it over and over again. And that's how they feed off of you. When you upset, when you see a man throwing another woman up in your face, that means that he's trying to feed off of you. He's not just a player. He's playing a game that allows him to siphon your very precious energy. He refuses to get that energy from you the right way. So what he will do is he'll try to get it the bad way. So a lot of y'all think, oh, this is happening because he loves me and he's confused. No, he don't. He don't love you. And it's the best thing for you to do, for you to get control over your heart chakra, and don't give none of your love to somebody that has nothing to give to you in return. So I do offer a cleanse with a cord cutting. Okay. Because what they will do is they will basically they'll form an umbilical cord to you. And I've actually seen non-humans and reptoids doing this too. They'll just form an umbilical cord to you and just feed and feed and feed. And they will drain you if you let them. So you have to be smart about this, and you have to understand that we're not just dealing with what y'all think we are. This is a spiritual occurrence that is happening over and over again. And if you have explained that, if you have educated the men in your life on this and they choose to continue to play that role, then they are the ones that's going to be SOL. Bless me. Thank you. Good grief. Thank you, Goddess. That was a good sign. They're the ones that's going to be shit out of luck. That's what we do. We turn things around. I was at a position in my life where I had 3 children, and the father did not want to support those kids and even told me, because you're not with me, I refuse to support my children. So I had to bring myself together, you know, and I had to get myself together and get out there and work. And I worked for a very long time, you know, earning 10, 11, 12, sometimes $13 an hour. Okay. Which, to be honest with you, it's not enough. So what they'll say is they'll say ridiculous things to you like, well, why don't you just get rid of your kids so that I can continue to suck off of you? And then that's when you do a banishing and a blocking, okay, or a cleanse. You know, they have all sorts of weird ideas about what it is that they think they're going to do. But they don't have any right. Nobody has the right to your spiritual energy unless you give them permission. Okay. And even if they take it, they still don't have the right. So this is where the occurrence of rape and child abuse, as well as adult female abuse comes in. Okay. Is when they're doing stuff like that. There's always a spell for that. Okay. You know that saying, where there's a will, there's a way? That saying is very true. Because as long as you have willpower, and a lot of you have been sucked dry of your willpower. We got a lot of energy over here. We do. And people love to feed off of that energy. I got a beautiful grandbaby. Okay. Little brown sugar baby. And she just loved her grandma. She looks just like my grandma. My grandma was brown sugar. Okay. And so were her sisters. So I took after my grandpa. My grandpa was high yellow. Okay, that's what they call him, high yellow. And but I'm still her granddaughter. I'm still her child. You know what I'm saying? And you can't feel sorry for them, and you can't coddle them. And women have to have zero tolerance when it comes to that. When you learn to have zero tolerance for that, your life is going to get better. I promise you. Like I said, at a time when I couldn't really take care of my children, I left the state. You know what I'm saying? I left that state because what it turned into was, we're going to try to make it impossible for her to support her children, and we don't care about the outcome of the children. And so they will do anything and everything to try to keep control over you, including and not limited to attacking your children, because they want you to fold. They want you to say, oh, he's attacking my children, so I better fold. I better go and be with him. Don't ever do that. Ever. Because they don't determine that. None of them do. Even the father of your child does not determine what happens to your children. Only you. You were the responsible party for carrying that baby for 9 months and bringing that child into the world. And you can't never break down and get weak. You can't do it. You can be weak when you're talking to me. You can cry, do whatever you got to do when you're talking to me, because I have a lot of patience, empathy, and understanding and compassion. But they don't have any compassion for you. So you can't give up and say, oh, this world is so messed up. Why has God forsaken me? Well, God has not forsaken you. That man did. So that's one of the main things that women go through. So that's why it's been consistently, you have been shown the depravity and how far they will go. That's the only reason why I have even been through the things that I've been through and why it's been so heavily publicized. So that you can see what it is and what it looks like for a woman to overcome that. Okay? So I'm always here if you need me, guys. You guys. The link to my website is below. You can also reach me at 770-686-7461 because there have been women that, I've had to, there have been women that I have spoken with, y'all. And I had a woman that called me and she hadn't paid for a reading or anything, but there's some people that'll call me. And I had a woman that called me. This woman was out of breath. She couldn't even breathe because this man had spoken so much destruction over her. And they can have you confused like that. So what I had to do was I had to lead her to my website and talk her through it. Okay? And you don't necessarily need to get a consultation to get a cleanse and a protection, just to let you guys know. But there are often times where I will offer it to you during the course of your reading. And I'll say, well, because sometimes before we can remove a generational hex, you got to have a cleanse, because what they've done is they've put so much disparaging stuff inside of you that you're going to have that cleanse first so that you can be stronger, because they'll break you down. They will really, really go through great lengths to break you down. And I can tell you that none of their tactics have ever worked with me. I have continuously manifested everything that I want. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you went through that because of this and that. But what doesn't make any sense for them is that why not just do it right the first time? Why not just do right by folks? Well, and it's definitely not easier to do folks wrong. A lot of people say that it's just easier to do folks wrong than to do folks right. And that's actually not true. It's easier to do what you're supposed to do, and be and just be honest and righteous in the first place. If you just do it right in the first place, then you don't have to worry about it. So what a lot of men will do, and it's very interesting because women have an innie and men have an outie. So what they'll do is they will put things in you and you have to cleanse that stuff off of you. Because because it starts down at the root and the sacral, and they'll say, oh yeah, I got her root chakra. I got her. No, they don't. They don't have you. You done got rid of that and eliminated all of that. So don't get discouraged. What, baby? What's the matter? Come here, baby. Come here. What's wrong? I'll be up there in a minute. We're going to watch a movie together or something. Sorry about that, child. My son is a very powerful empath. And a lot of little boys can be born empathic. And I'm actually going to come and talk to you guys about your baby boys. I'm going to come and talk to y'all about them. Because the same thing that affects grown men is messing with the little men. Just to let y'all know, the little ones. So he ran down here and said, they gone, they gone. He's, you know, my son has these weird spiritual experiences a lot. And we've got to start educating. We do. We have got to start educating people on the proper way of raising an empathic child. Because what can end up happening to empathic children is that they can become very, very evil and sadistic. And especially when it comes to men. So I'm very, very careful about the influences that is over my sons, because I have 2 sons and 2 daughters and 1 grandbaby. Okay, 1 granddaughter. And, you know, you just have to know what's going on at that time that's happening with them. But it's very, very real. These sort of like invisible entities and energies and the things that sometimes your children can even be picking up on. So definitely, if you have children, especially if they are very empathic, you can't trust nobody else with your kids but Jamila. Don't even do it, especially when you see people running around, you know, supporting somebody in their abuse or verbal lashing of innocent children. Don't ever, ever do that. Ever. Because you can't trust everybody with your children. And it ain't about picking and choosing. All children are sacred. There is no child that will ever be left behind at Divine Services, ever. Okay? So anyway, I got to go. I will see y'all later. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you to all of you that have purchased readings and spell work and everything for me. I am very, very grateful for, you know, for you being in my life. And I'm pretty sure that you're grateful for me being in your life. But it is so important for you to make sure that you go ahead and pay your bills with me. Okay, that's very, very important. So just make sure that you know that. And I'll see y'all later. Love and light.